Why was this allowed to happen to Charlie Kirk? I think I know why. I applied the concept of reaping and sowing. You might say, oh, he didn't sow for that. Don't be very careful. The devil is very sly. So, no, he did not sow for it in sin. He sowed for it in fear. He sowed for it in belief in something that the devil wanted him to believe. I've thought so much about this. Like, how could this happen to such a good man? How could this possibly happen? And with watching things that I have online, I realized that he had some kind of a dream years ago, and he believed someone was going to take him out, or he was fearful of it. And then it moved to, it's not fear. I just totally believe this. That's even more dangerous than being in fear. Now, fear is like radical faith in something you do not want. So, and I'll get on to that of some fear campaign going on currently in the world, that this is what the devil does. He's trying to get you to sow for something. If he can't get you in sin, there's other ways that he can get you to sow. So that's just one of the ways. And that's what I think happened with Charlie, to where that he is going to reap what he sowed, of this belief that someone was going to take him out. So what happened, and he talked about it. It's another thing. Talking about some evil plan the devil has for you. Not good. You have to refute it. You have to resist the devil. You don't ever come into agreement with something like that. So, because then the devil, what he did is he just he planted a world around him that made it possible for something like this to happen. And don't think that the enemy does not know how to do this. And don't think that evil people don't know how to do it. This is called witchcraft. Witchcraft is when you know what you want someone to reap. Like you want them to get this harvest. But maybe they haven't done anything to sow for it. So you through like back doors, you're trying to figure out a way to make them reap. And you might put people in their life that they're now connected to, and that might have some authority into their life, some way to speak to them, some way to really make him believe that this was going to happen. And so he would start speaking about it. Because when you speak about it, whatever it is you're afraid of, you are agreeing with it and saying, this is what's going to happen. And it's just a real sly way that the devil works. So I think that he told us, what he thought. And granted, though, he apparently, if it's to be believed, he thought a lot of different people wanted to take him out. So I'm not saying I know who did it. I'm just saying now I think I know why it was allowed by God. And because nobody escapes reaping and sowing. If you read Job, it says there in the beginning, what he feared came upon him. And yet his life was not allowed to be taken. So he must not have sown or had fear about losing his life. But he had fear about losing his children and his wealth and all kinds of things. And it came upon him. Because God is just. If he does not make even people he loves reap what they sow, then he's showing partiality. And he cannot do that. And he will not do that, people. Recognize that. So with your mouth and with your ideas and in your heart and whatever you're thinking, you're sowing. You're sowing. So I think that's what happened to him. And the concern here now is that Candace is starting to get under that same lie, or at least people want her to. So what you see happening here with people saying like it's going to be like Sandy Hook and and they're trying to plant seeds because they want her to fear or they want her to agree. So she has said some things lately that were really hitting me, and I'm like, why is this bothering me? When she said what they're doing over there with our greatest ally, they're going to do here. This is going to happen to America. That's a seed. That's a seed of agreement. And you have a big platform and you get a lot of people agreeing with that, then you're going to get that. So sometimes we're being used by the enemy and we're like, but we're telling the truth. And it's like, do not ever agree for you to be cursed. You cannot do that. And you need to pray for your leaders, not because you agree with them or you think they're great, or whether they're a believer, they're not a believer. You pray for them. Why? Because if it happens to them and they fall, you fall. So if they fall for the lies of the enemy and no one's praying for them, and people are just sending hate towards them, then they can fall because they don't have anyone praying for them. They just have accusers out there. And we have to be very careful about this. It's a big deal. And I might not agree with a lot of things either, but I'm not going to curse someone, even if I think they're evil, because God doesn't say, oh, only pray for them if they're a Christian. No, pray for them. Like Adam and Eve. Eve was deceived when she said, don't touch the fruit. That was sowing a lie. But it wasn't until Adam ate that everything under his authority fell. So we need to really be careful about our words. So you need to sow words of no, that will never happen to me. What happened in that other case with that other person? Because you don't know what that person sowed. So even if they're trying to wield it through witchcraft to make you reap something you didn't sow. They're going to do it through fear. They're going to do it through belief. They're going to do it through your words that you say, because all of those are seeds. So make every word you say, every prayer that you have, it does not come into agreement with the enemy. You pray blessings. And also ask for forgiveness for whatever you might be doing and whatever lies that you believe, because that's the thing. That's why I don't like lots of religion, because religion is adding or subtracting from the word of God, just like Eve did. God said, don't eat it. She said, don't touch it. She thought she was doing good, by, making it to where I definitely won't eat it if I don't touch it. But that opened her up to have more lies to believe. So even if you're believing some kind of lie with anything, if you believe anything that has lies in it, you will accept more lies to believe. It will happen. And you won't see them because you didn't see the first one. You will not know until you're willing to give up all lies, every lie. So, yes, there's a lot of truth going on. A lot of people are like, whoa, I believed this about the Republican Party, or I believe that about the Democrat Party. And now I'm like, I don't trust either of them or whatever. Yes, you're on the beginning of truth. But I'm going to tell you, the devil is going to try to come in and so you some little tiny lie. And then you'll believe the next one is a little bigger lie, another lie. So you believe that. So there's some people out there who believe that nobody could possibly ever be a part of doing this to Charlie. And so they sow that. They're sowing, I just won't believe my eyes. I will not believe that there's anybody this evil. So what they're saying is, I can only accept this scenario. And what ends up happening is when you sow that, you believe that, all you can now do is believe more lies about that. So then everything you see is going through that lens of whatever it is that you decided is the truth. So this is how the devil works. And he just keeps you in that cycle, because you don't want to believe the truth. And the devil will keep serving you up lies. Any lie that you like the taste of, you're going to get more and more of that lie. So I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on in this world that some evil people really want us badly to fear, to become fully convinced of that it's going to happen, just so because they know that's a really strong seed. So they might be telling you aliens are coming and all this stuff, and they've been planting this for a really long time into your subconscious. This is what it looks like. This is what an alien looks like. This is what they're going to do. Here's a movie. If you can't think of it yourself, here's a movie for you to think about. Isn't that terrifying? To the point that people are fully, totally convinced. Now they're speaking with their mouth what the devil wants them to. So that way they can legally come in and give us a big old display of the big old lie. And there may be evil things that they have made us label as an alien, but it's not an alien. The truth is, it's a demonic thing. It's mixing with human and whatever. It's the stuff from the past. Same old lie, same old lie. But now they're letting us know it's almost harvest time, because they've been planting this a long time. If they want to do a worldwide thing, they got to get everybody on board, because the whole world didn't sow for this. So are you sowing for it? Are you sowing for it with your fear? Are you sowing for it with your belief? Like, you just believe this. Are you sowing for it because somebody, did some kind of an experiment with you or whatever? And like, you really believe these stories that you now believe. So now they don't care how you believe. They put movies out there. They put lots of ideas, because they don't care how it is that you sow, as long as you sow, so that they can do this thing that they want to do. So we have to be careful with our mouth, that we don't come into agreement with curses. This is witchcraft. Don't allow people to do it to you. Learn reaping and sowing. I believe it's the absolute key to understanding why everything has happened. Be blessed.